Hello, I'm Bloodied Porcelain, and I'll be playing Nienna, the Elven Mage.
Hello, I'm Overthinker. I will be playing Irileth, the Elven Assassin turned Bouncer.
Hello, I am Legacy, and I'll be playing Brynnhilder, the Witcher.
Hello, I am Stabbykinz. I will be playing Siegryn, the Dwarven Merchant.
Hello, I'm Grizz. I'll be playing Fenix, the Silversmith.
And I'm Solomon. I will be your game master for this evening. When we last left our professionals, they had begun to put more pieces together in this puzzle. They had managed to capture another one of the witchers that had been working with these Dopplers, the mage Isilgir, and whatever other conspiratorial members were in this large group that was kidnapping children. And they found out that these children all had something unique about them. They were gifted. They had innate talents with what would normally be seen as magic, what would normally require training and learning to weave magic and chaos. They did naturally. They had begun to figure out more about this, and they even came together with the help of Sigryn's contacts and their rookery to find out who the next possible target would likely be. Irileth decided to check out the home of that possible target and had been watching over it alongside Rinder while Siegryn went to try to find the others. Nienna, understandably, having had a very intense and very mentally exhausting past 48 hours, decided to go back to the keep, the noble's estate, and to rest. Meanwhile, we come back to Brynhilder and Fenix, who not only managed to find yet another witcher in the same group that was kidnapping children, they managed to catch up to him and convince him to take them somewhere private to speak. We come back in and at a somewhat large but ramshackle hovel in the Docks District. The Witcher of the Snake School, has led both Fenix and Brynhilder to this large hovel and stops them before knocking in a specific fashion on the door. 2 up high, 2 low, and 1 right by the handle. And the door slowly opens, which he will then step on inside and gesture for Brynhilder and Fenix to come along as well. Inside is a rather shockingly well-kept hovel. It is large and somewhat run down, but made to be as homely as possible. With lush rugs that actually look to be made of silk. They look very out of place by where it's found. There are incense burning, there are various candles, there are even trinkets and baubles and jewelry strewn about the place. Up above, there is a slight twinkle of wind chimes, even, just dangling about and giving a very soothing atmosphere and ambience. Right, so who would you bring me this time? And you turn, and from behind the door, as it closes, steps a very beautiful woman with deep olive-toned skin, long black hair that is just allowed to caress down her shoulders and back, and is wearing what looks to be similar to the garbs that are found at the body bar guest, except for the fact that she has the legs of a goat. And Brynhilder knows that this is a succubus. Another Vatgarn. And she looks to Fenix and raises an eyebrow and smirks. Interesting.
I'll take that as a compliment.
As you should.
Mm,
Do you have a trouble with me, Vatgarn?
no, ma'am.
Good. And she will just move past you both and look to the other Witcher and say, I suppose I'll be getting out the good wine then. And he just gives her a small nod as she heads further into the small home. Sorry, it's not much, but it'll do for now. And he will move over to the side and grab 3 chairs that look much more like they belong here, given that they're just sort of barely put together as they are, and puts 2 out for you and then 1 out for himself. And he will go ahead and sit down.
Phoenix will take a seat.
Brynnhilder will as well. No. As much as I'm sure that there should be pleasantries, I don't do pleasantries. I think that it might be best if we just get right to the questions.
I agree.
So, how many are there of our kind that are serving this guy?
Half dozen.
Wonderful. And are they all around this area?
3 of them are.
And the others?
Myself, Yara, who you seem to have grabbed, and Ketch. He's like Yara, another cat.
Great. And the others? Where are they?
One is with our go-between man, and he gives air quotes. The rock troll. I assume Yara's talked about him. One is in between man and our employer. And the other one stays with our employer. If he needs to come out, then something's gone horribly fucking wrong.
And the one that is with your employer is a...
Griffin.
one of mine.
Yep.
Okay.
It's about this time that the succubus comes back with 3 silver goblets and offers each one to you. And she looks, except for Phoenix, the one she gives you is made of gold.
He will crack a smile. Much obliged.
She gives a smile right back and a very mischievous wink before she will turn and move to just work to continue cleaning up the place a little bit more and lighting a few candles.
So I guess this may... What is it that you're paid to do?
Well, First, we were paid to find Dopplers. Paid to find those that would be willing to work with us.
Mm-hmm.
Then, with the assistance of those Dopplers, we were paid to find particular children.
Particular children being.
Those with gifts. Some inherent form of magic, or maybe elder blood. I don't know the logistics of it. I'm not a griffin. Wasn't really my forte.
So these children have these gifts, and do you know what it is he's doing with these children?
Training them. He's wanting, apparently, to make some sort of unique little armed force for some individual that's supposed to be coming up and making a big fuss in the continent in a few decades' time, apparently.
So he wants to train children to be magic warriors. Got it.
Something like us, I think. And he just gives a rather dry smile as he points between himself and Brynnhilder. Minus the, terrible mutations and surgeries and potions that cause the grand washout of anyone who was to become a witcher. He's avoiding that. He doesn't want to hurt them.
I gotta
He's
ask,
hurting.
Sorry.
You had a question?
Yeah, sorry. Given that, how much is he paying all of you?
Well, started off simple. 500 gold to find each Doppler for each of us. And then it has been a steady 500 each week to keep working on making sure that we get the children to him.
Whether he wants to admit it or not, he's hurting those children.
I think he's aware. I think he just doesn't want to actually do any physical damage to them.
Where is he?
Last I heard, he was in Dolblathana, but that was only when I got a message from him last, and that was a week ago.
Or where are you sending these children?
We send them to Biggin, and Biggin will keep care of them until we have all of them, and then they will be sent to Isildur.
Okay. And is it just around here that he's been looking, or are there any other towns, villages?
I was only tasked with the others for this town. If there are others, it was either before me or he's not letting us know. He might have let the Griffin know. The Griffin seemed to have known him for longer.
Problem is, if they're getting griffins involved, that's dangerous. All right. GM, how many griffins are in this area? Would Brynnhilder know of any other like witchers, specifically the ones that like she trained with when she was younger, that might still be around?
Just from what little bit of contact you've kept with those from the Griffin School, what those are that are left. Most of them are in Toussaint, because Toussaint greets the Griffin Witchers with a little more respect, given the stories of the Witcher George of the Griffin School, who slew dragons in Toussaint.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you think you have heard of one or two that was still doing the traveling monster slayer shtick, as opposed to being personal witchers like you are.
Mm-hmm.
One of them you heard sounded kind of like the mentor you had a while ago that you got on pretty well with, and who trained you to know a few more witcher tricks and decoctions and such. Egil.
All right.
But that was a rumor that you heard month and a half ago at this point.
Mm-hmm. I might need to see if I can reach out to any of my... They're so far away, though. And what happens after this?
After we take them to Isildur, you mean?
Yeah.
I assume he takes care of them, trains them, makes sure that they are prepared for, as he called it, what prophecy has in store for them.
Got it. And she'll take a swig at, like, she'll just take like a swig of her wine.
It's very good wine, for what it's worth.
Well, how many have you kidnapped?
He twitches a bit at that, just looking a little perturbed by the choice of words, but then he goes back to being sort of blank-faced. 10.
And there's definitely a lot more.
Could be. All I was paid for was the ones here.
You say there are similarities between what's happening with these children and what happened to the both of you. How are you taken?
I was law of surprise. My parents couldn't pay the Witcher for the act of getting rid of a noon wraith. So he invoked the law of surprise, and when I came out of my mother, I was then passed on to him.
That's how they get a lot of us.
No, I just can't imagine, even with the amount of coin passing through everyone's hands, that you're truly comfortable with this.
Comfortable is not a luxury that I get to enjoy very often, with work or otherwise.
Are you trying not to enjoy it? Sorry, that's ill-gotten gains and all.
No, I understand. It's fine. I'm not exactly in this particular line of work to be liked. I don't expect being liked. I expect to do what needs to be done. I just expect to do my job.
I don't particularly think any of us got into this line of work to be liked. But there is some form of obligation. There are a lot of children who have gone missing. A lot of people dying because of it. Unnecessary death.
I'm doing what I can to avoid it. I can't say the same for the cats or the Dopplers.
Young children going up and missing because they have magical gifts, because some mage wants to raise a bunch of quote-unquote future warriors, or what have you made with that. Just in the last couple of days, people have fallen ill because of whatever is going on. A woman was killed, and her son is now missing. Presumably taken by a Doppler. And you say that they are being trained like us. I don't have any reason to believe that they're not getting hurt in some way. Even if you say that it's without the mutation. I know magic comes at a cost.
True enough. I'm only telling you what I've been told and what I've seen. That's all I can give you. Sorry.
You gave us 2 locations, and that's plenty enough.
If you got a map, I can mark where Biggins Cave is.
Safe to assume I have a map?
Yeah, I think that at this point, since you figured that this might span outside of the city, that you have grabbed a map by this point.
Okay. She'll take the map out of her bag. And lay it out.
He will go ahead and take out a little bit of charcoal and just sort of like smudge a area in the map. It's right around here by a pond with drowners.
Okay. Brynnhilder kind of cracks her knuckles, takes the map, rolls it back up, throws it back in her bag. Do yourself a favor. Get lost while you can.
Oh, that's the plan. I'm taking my money, and I'm taking her, and we're gonna go over to Skellige. They don't tend to hate us as hard over there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I cannot afford such luxuries. So.
Well, from one of us to another, best of luck to you.
Yeah. You too. Try not to die. There's not many of us left.
Don't I know it? And he is going to stand up and will push his chair back away, and we'll just look back to you. You can rest and chat here for a bit if you want. I don't think that she's gonna mind. She likes your friend there.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Could you just not, if you see any of the others, talk about me?
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Thank you.
Anytime. And he's going to drain his goblet and walk to help and talk to the succubus a little more in more hushed tones.
I don't trust whatever this mage is doing with those kids.
No. I don't either.
Like I said, if it's even remotely anything that we went through. It's not good.
Well, better get moving then.
We should go find the others.
Well, if they had any sense, they're either in bed or watching the beds of someone else who might be in danger, so. If you want a place to sleep, you can sleep with the tooth in now. It's up to you.
You assume you assume the best that they have common sense. Not that I distrust. But with things going the way that they are, I doubt some of us are managing to get any sleep.
Brynhilder, I just tackled a witcher. Of all the things I thought I'd ever do, that has to be one of the dumbest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna get plenty of sleep. Might be my last. Oh, and he'll wave down the succubus, point to the gold mug. It was delicious. Thank you. They'll put it in his chair.
Anytime. I'll leave a few bottles here for you. Not gonna be needing them since gonna have to learn to mead a lot more. And then she just kind of glares daggers at the other witcher, who just kind of shrugs.
There's always two songs.
Yeah, but that's a long ways in the other direction.
Better wine though.
Don't I know it?
Yeah, he'll start walking towards the door.
Yeah. And Brynnhilder will get up maybe like a couple seconds after, polish off the rest of her drink, and make her way towards back home in heavy quotation marks.
Alrighty. Fenix, Brynhilder, and Siegryn, could you all please roll 1d10 and add your luck statistic to it?
Oh boy. Alrighty.
Let's go.
1d10 you said?
Yep, 1d10 and add your luck stat to it. Ah,
Oh boy.
Oh, I love that for you.
Yeah. For those in the audience, my luck stat is a 1.
Bro.
who needs rerolls, right?
Grizz needs rerolls.
Grizz really did look at his stats and say, nah.
Were you the one who
Nope.
spent the whole week panicking?
Why do you think I was panicking?
A fellow over here is setting his game to hard mode.
Kind of was from the jump, yeah.
Iron Man mode.
Mm.
No redos.
Mm.
Well, I hope you're ready to re-roll a different character.
Well, you know.
As Brynhilder and Fenix are heading back, they actually see a familiar face. They see Siegryn rushing about, trying to find, or looking like she is trying to find anyone, really.
I should have sent Render. Oh, my legs are too stumpy for this shit.
Evening.
Oh, there you two are. I think we found him. Our target.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're down by the piers in a shack. I left Render and one of our others to watch over the place right now. We should hurry back just in case anybody gets wind of what we managed to find.
Phoenix will quickly look at Brynhilder and look down at Siegryn. I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to pick you up and run as fast as I can.
Siegryn, kind of flicks her gaze between him and her. Well, I suppose I'm not super picky.
Excellent. He just picks her up and starts running towards the piers.
Yeah. We're running.
All right. I would like
Tell the
to...
elves.
So, we're going to go ahead and cut away to Irileth. Irileth, you are outside the shack that has what could be the next target for the Dopplers and Witchers. The next gifted child. You have Render sitting dutifully by your side, watching ahead, looking about, sniffing the air occasionally and giving a rough sneeze, and then looking up at you.
I think. All right, boy. It's been long enough. We can get in there, get the kid, and get back to the Barghest, we'll be safe. I'm gonna, at this point, I think I'm a good distance away, right? Like, I haven't approached the house.
Correct.
Or have
yeah,
I?
you're still a good distance away to where you could approach the house, but right now, you needed the extra space, so you keep an eye on it.
Cool. I'm going to take off my cloak, throw it on the ground, and get it dirty so that when I put it back on and adopt a fake limp, I can appear somewhat like a beggar or a nobody.
Okay. I am going to go ahead and call for a roll of your empathy plus your deceit. Empathy plus deceit, and I will go ahead and give you a +3 with the extra limp and the dirtier clothing.
The 24.
That will do it. You are just very quickly able to put together a image of a limping beggar, one who is very much down the luck, very hobbled, and very easy to go unnoticed in this slightly poorer part of town.
Surrender, the trick is to dirty the boots too. Otherwise, they'll see him under the cloak. And then I shuffle towards the house. Or I'll shuffle along the street on that side, take cover in a couple of doorways, and glance about a little bit. I'll take my time, but I'll get there.
Okay. Give me a roll of 1d10 plus your awareness with your intelligence.
All right. $28.
Oh, good. Now the sheets are saying that your stat is 20 as opposed to being 10.
So 18?
Yeah, it'll be 18. Still good. You look around, making sure that you're still going generally unnoticed by anyone that looks beyond just the look of, oh, that poor beggar there. As you are getting closer to the place, you feel eyes on you for a brief moment. But when you turn around to see who could be looking at you, you just see a few sailors who look to be a little bit too deep in their cups, just pointing and laughing before they start shoving one another and then getting into a fight.
Okay. I'll slip up to the door. Do I know the man's name?
You do not.
All right. Then I'll just knock.
You knock on the door and you hear a bit of movement inside before the door opens, and you see a rather tall, broad-shouldered man. Looks kind of like he came from Skellige. He says, "Aye? Can I help you?"
I have a message. I think I'm going to pull the hood back so he can see that I am not some random homeless guy. I'm here to warn you. You're in danger. Please let me in.
Which I would like to ask, are you trying to do this charismatically, or are you trying to do this a little more like intimidation?
I think Irileth is prepared to be attacked in this moment, so he's all hackles up. He's in scary mode.
All right. Give me a roll of your willpower plus your intimidation, please.
Any bonus?
I'll go ahead and say it'll be a +2 because you've got a really big wolf by you.
Sweet.
And that's saying that your empathy is 16, but that'll still be a good number for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's
23.
still over 20, yeah. And he just looks at you and is a little bit shocked at first and looks a little angry. But given that it's you and a wolf versus just him, and he looks quite tired, like he's had a really long day, he just thinks for a second, it's like, fine, come in. Quick.
Cool. I enter.
And
Put
he
this
will
on.
close the door behind you.
Cool. I pull off my cloak. Put this on. Your daughter's here?
Aye.
People are coming to try and take her. We're getting her to the body
Why?
Bargist, and we're doing it now. If you have any valuables, you have, well, as long as it takes me to barricade this door. Move.
Aye. And he will move head further into the little shack.
I'm going to, take a chair and brace it against the door so it's harder to open, and then cast around the room for anything else I can use in case of a fight.
There looks to be, a few, smaller knives, a larger, butcher's cleaver used for, cutting up meat and fish and such. But for the most part, it looks like this is pretty standard for a sailor. Nothing too fancy. A small cupboard seems to be what looks to be possibly the most sturdy bit of furniture in this place.
Okay. I'll follow him into the other room.
And he will just be gently rubbing at his daughter's shoulders, Tobbs, come on, we're gonna be going. And she's just like, where are we going? He's like, don't worry, we're just going on a short trip. We're gonna be going to a bigger, fancier place. We're gonna get you into a much more comfortable bed, okay? And she's like, okay. And she just begins to drift off again, but lets him lift her up to hold her in his arms as he puts the cloak on and around her so that way she's hidden.
Good. You have a cloak.
Yeah, I do. And he will just point over to a small, rather kind of looks like a reused fish hook that's been kind of turned into a blunted hook for hanging his cloak, which is a much more dirty brown, torn at the edges sort of cloak.
Cool. I'm gonna throw on his cloak, and then you stay close, a little behind. Don't be afraid to move slow. We're going to make it to the Bloody Bargist. You understand? You been there? You know it?
I know it. I've never been there myself, but I know it.
Well, then today's your lucky day. The people who are coming after us, they're no slouches. Don't try to fight. If things break out, I'll deal with them. You run. Understand?
Aye.
Good. And I hand on my sword, push open the door, and check our surroundings again.
Give me another awareness test.
It's going to be a 17.
Still very good. You take a look around, and you can see that the drunks that were fighting are now both face down in the street snoring. there doesn't seem to be much of anyone else really paying attention to you. Most people, it's getting later to the point where people are just generally trying to finish up their business and get home.
Okay. Go.
And he will quickly move out. I need you to please give me a stealth roll.
Cool.
This will be at a slight penalty of 3, because you're trying to not only stealth for yourself, you're trying to stealth for him and his daughter, and he is a bigger guy who's not the most inconspicuous.
He hasn't done this before.
Yeah, he's trying his best, but God love him, it's not his forte.
-3?
-3.
That's a 20.
Okay. You are moving quickly, guiding him through the streets, ducking into alleyways, ducking into little doorways, working to basically make sure that no one is following you, no one's really keeping an eye on you. And if you had a tail, you're pretty sure that you have worked well enough to lose it. And it is about another 5-10 minutes that you can see a very quick and very a very upset, or rather focused Fenix and Brynhilder. Fenix carrying Siegryn, rushing in your direction.
I will give a low whistle to alert them to my presence, and then say, "Render, go."
And Render will give a small pant and will just bolt out towards Fenix and be barking a little bit loudly to get his attention.
Yeah, the slide stop, abrupt turn runs in the direction of the barking.
And just as quickly, you are all in once again reunited.
Ah, there you are, boy.
He looks up and pants happily at seeing Siegryn.
Good boy. Well, seems like most of us are here now. Did we manage to get him out?
I point a thumb. Father, daughter, we're going to the Barghest. Let's not slow down.
Right.
And I guess we'll move as a group.
All right. The rest of the trip to the Barghest is thankfully uneventful. You managed to get your way to the Barghest. It's gotten so late at night that anyone who is still here has already gotten through their business and is likely resting elsewhere. The bar floor itself has the occasional drunk scattered at their own various tables, completely tonked out from having so much. And you see Lisa is at the bar and looks up to see you all come in, and she's like, "Oh shit," and she will hop up over the bar and rush to you. What's going on? What's happening?
Long story. This man and his daughter are in. They're being pursued by nasty types. We need them as safe as we can make them.
All right. I could set them up in the Pine Room. It's where you guys usually meet, but it's also one of our more secure places.
Good.
All right. And she will move over to the man and gently take the daughter from him and carry her while leading him up to the Pine Room hurriedly. Mother Kay comes out from her office, seeing that display, and then looking to Irileth and the group with a raised eyebrow.
I'll talk to her. Sig, did you fill them in on who this kid is?
Yes, I did. The next potential target.
Good. We shouldn't leave him alone. We know this place isn't as safe as we'd like, but at least it's home turf.
Do you want me to stay with them and render?
I don't hate it.
Right, we'll do then. And she'll turn to the others and give them a little 2-finger salute. And she's going to walk off along with Render following along just behind.
All right. Mother Kay actually makes her way closer to Fenix, Brynhilder, and Irileth. Well, seems your work's been interesting.
Indeed it has. You're wondering about the random sailor and his kid?
No, probably better that I don't know. Just wondering about how the three of you are doing. You look run ragged.
Well, I think this is night 2 with barely getting sleep. So, I got another one in me. Do you guys have any luck?
A lot more than I expected. We have a couple of locations on this map, and she takes it out of her bag and kind of opens it. The information that we managed to gather, there's at least 10 children that have gone missing. Not all of the Witchers are out here. There's only 3, and we've captured 1. 1 is leaving. Don't know where the other one is. There's a couple where they're keeping the kids, and then there's one with our problem.
All right. We should discuss strategy in the morning with Nienna. For now, Madam K is right as usual. You gonna stay here?
I can.
Right.
Make sure nothing happens to the 2 of them.
No shortage of beds.
I gotta go home. Need to talk to my master about a few things. Just real quick.
Actually, before you go, come with me.
Sure.
And I'm gonna take Fenix to wherever I keep my bow, which hasn't seen work in a while. Probably my room.
Very likely. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll head up to my room.
You head on up there and describe what your room looks like for everyone.
It's one of the... I think it's actually one of the standard larger suites, in that you come in, there's the 4-poster bed. The right side is like hung up clothes and a wardrobe. The left side is more open with a sitting and eating area and a couple of windows looking out. It's enough space for 4 or 5 people comfortably. Well, maybe 3 comfortably. Still, it is a brothel. There's a fair amount of red silk.
Not my style, but
Hmm.
no. Yeah. Mm-mm.
You'd be surprised. Silk is amazing. Anyway,
Makes my skin itch.
goes over to the wardrobe, opens it, and removes a bound package about the size, longer than a quarterstaff, actually. Goes over to the bed and unrolls a long unused elven zafar. A bow crafted in ages long past. Mind taking a look?
Oh,
Not necessarily my style. I could take it to my master, though, and he'll have a writer's ring in the morning.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I trust you. Given that it hasn't been used for a while, I want to make sure the guy I got it from said use it or take care of it. And he never told me how to take care of it. And then he got trampled by a horse. So wraps it back up.
Yeah. No, on my honor as a craftsman, no harm will come to this.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Get something resembling sleep. Even a drunken stupor for 2 hours would be better than what you've gotten.
For sure.
Right.
Tap him on the shoulder and
He heads out.
alrighty. We are going to focus on Fenix. As you return home, you see that your master is not in a drunken stupor as he had been for a few days. He is actually sat up at his front desk and is looking at you with a raised eyebrow. Out late, are we?
I've had a day that you would believe me if I told you. There's no question. I threw myself at a witcher about an hour ago.
How did that turn out for you?
Shockingly well.
Then the Witcher wasn't looking for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to you, but if a Witcher is looking to dance, then not many people are going to be able to walk away from that.
Yeah, I've had that twice today. They seem rather okay with my existence, and that's not what I was prepared for.
Are you upset by this, or?
Well, you spend 34 years expecting the sort of a vatgun to go through your back at some point. You kind of expect it to happen when you meet ones you're not accustomed to. Brynhilder changed that ideal for me a lot, but she's a special case.
Small blessings, I suppose.
I don't know how long it's been since you were in Dopafana, but do you know an elf named Tareth?
Not well. We met once or twice, and well, let's just say the second time that we met, well, he wasn't exactly in the talking mood. That was after he lost his son. Why?
Well, there are currently there are 3 witches in town that I'm not familiar with, that I've gotten very familiar with 2 of them. They're all being supplied by him.
That doesn't surprise me. I imagine that if anyone has bones to pick, as it were, with monsters or anything else that is allergic to silver, it would be him.
Just wanted to get an idea of who his employer is and how he's attracting all of these people, and it's starting to become clearer and clearer by the day.
Oh. If you need a sounding board, I am here.
No, it's just something you told me a long time ago that I've held true to this entire time. There are many forms of monster.
Some walk on 4 legs, some float, some walk on 2 and speak pleasantries at you.
And some speak dark truths that you can't avoid. That seems to be his stick.
Seems you have your work cut out for you.
Speaking of which, and he'll hold out the wrapped elven bow. Irileth of the Body Bog needs a favor from us. I think you'll appreciate it.
He gets up from his seat slowly and moves to take the package from you. He unwraps it, and his eyes just sort of trace from one end of the bow down to the other. Hands moving across the woodwork of the bow itself, and then gently across the string. It's a fantastic piece, but woefully undercared for. I assume he wants it back into fighting shape.
We have 6 hours.
You are going to help me. I know you are a silversmith and this is not exactly your forte. But you're going to be asked, I imagine you're going to be asked to do a lot of things in your long life, Fenix. Best to be prepared for some of them.
Might as well start with elven craftsmanship now.
Indeed. And he will gather his tools together.
Just one more thing. So you're aware. Actually, I need your help with the last one. I need you to take the pin out of my back.
You want it out?
I don't have a choice anymore.
Very well. Remove your shirt and I will get the tongs.
Thank you. Yeah, he'll take off his shirt and just toss it to the side and just like sit down where he in his chair and like lean his neck forward and lift up the dreads that he has tied up into a ponytail.
Okay. And he comes along with the tongs and calipers, and he says, given where it is and given our workmanship with it, it's likely going to hurt. And he will hold out a strip of leather. You want to bite down on this?
Yeah. I'll wrap it around both fists and just hold it to his mouth, bite down, and then just wait.
Yeah, I'm going to pull in 3. And then he immediately starts pulling, and I need you to please roll me body plus endurance.
You got it. Okay. Like a good player, I already had my character sheet open, of course.
Of course, I expected nothing less from you. $22. You have felt a lot of different kinds of pain in your life. You've felt the pain of silver in your existence. When that pin in your back had been placed to where it would still feel, it would still remind you that it was there. You'd never fully get used to it, but you become accustomed to that little slight discomfort. Going in was perhaps some of the most intense pain in your life. Coming out makes it seem like nothing. You bite down into the leather until the point where you have bitten completely through the strip of leather. And the leather strap falls along with there being cracking and intense damage done to whatever you were gripping at.
Yeah.
As the pin comes out and falls to the floor. And you feel, after that intense shot of pain, you feel at ease. You feel completely and utterly yourself. That slight discomfort is gone, and you feel the muscles in your back all relax.
Just spits out the leather. Sorry about that.
I apologize that it had to be so painful coming out, but don't ask me to put it back in.
No, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Spits out more leather.
I'm glad I was done using that.
Yeah, do your hands shake? Usually people drink and the hands shake less. Do your hands get shakier when you drink? Is it reverse nerves? I don't get you. I don't.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Why aren't you drinking? Actually, don't. We have work to
That's
do.
because I could tell that we were going to have work to do.
Yeah, he starts slowly standing up, stretching. I feel good.
Good, because you're going to be spending the next few hours learning before you get to have your nap.
Yes, sir.
And I would like you to please go ahead and roll me crafting.
You got it.
As your way of assisting Master Hatter. And if you'd like to use any of your craftsmanship skills, your craftsman skills, you are free to say you'd like to. Like if you want to use journeyman or anything.
Yeah. No. This is a learning exercise.
All right.
Yeah. 22 again.
Perfect. It takes you and Master Hattery a couple hours, but with his tools and his skill and your natural talent assisting him, you're able to make the bow look as if it is new again, with enough polish along the actual wooden part, replacing the string with a much more recent and stronger string that would hopefully not snap like the other one seemed like it was about to, if you were going to try to pull it back.
Excellent.
He looks at the bow, nods. It'll do. Even though it's possibly some of the best work you've ever seen him do. And he will set it back in the cloth and wrap it back up again. Now, before you go to bed, is there anything that you would like to grab for yourself or your associates? If this is coming into play, then you all are in dangerous waters.
No, I think I need to let go of my own fear, and that's what I'll be bringing along to the party. I'll be bringing myself.
I assume, well, true. You by yourself in the right state of mind is worth, well, everything in this shop and most of the good Lord's armory.
Thank you, Ibar.
Well, don't thank me yet. When you're done with all this, you're still my apprentice. And I will expect you to come back here and finish out your apprenticeship.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now go to bed.
Yes, sir.
It is the next day. The sailor and his daughter, Tabby, are both resting in the pine room. The sailor still looks to be very shaken up and paranoid because he was basically told to abandon his house in the middle of the night, and because his daughter was in danger. He isn't asking any questions because he figures that if he needs to know something, that people will tell him. So he's basically just working to make sure that Tabby is taken care of, that she's bathed and clothed, and she's having a decent time. It is once again the body bar guest. The open bar room is quiet, as it is the early morning, and official hours haven't begun yet. All the leftover patrons that had worked with the girls through the evening have taken their leave quietly. And it is just our professionals and Lisa, who is basically making sure that everyone has some juice and a simple breakfast of like potatoes and onions and a little bit of bacon. Nothing fancy, but filling.
Thank you, Lisa.
Anytime.
So, we got ahead of him. Right? That's what the kid means. Looks around at the others.
I certainly hope so.
Am I here now?
Yeah, you came in last, but you are here. You came in just in time for breakfast.
Perhaps. Did you check to see if she has any particular gifts?
I assumed I was about to come under attack, so no, I just hauled.
All right. Well, I suppose I could go and find out.
Yeah. Ooh.
What?
I just haven't I haven't been in someone else's crosshairs in a while. I gets you moving.
I'll agree with that one.
Person
And it was
that
like-
does.
We were closer to dawn than dusk when I got back, so it's like not gonna wake up the girls just for my benefit at this hour.
Nienna will clear her throat and get up to go meet the child. Maybe take breakfast up with her.
All right. Is anyone going with Nienna, or is it just the Nienna show for now?
Siegryn will follow.
Alrighty. So Siegryn and Nienna make their way to the Pine Room. The sailor is sitting on the bed, just looking a little bit kind of stunned still, just like taking in everything that just happened and where he is now. And he looks up to both of you entering, and he says, "Oh, hello. Can I help you?"
Good morning. I brought you breakfast. Thought you two might be hungry.
Thank you. I'll take mine. She's bathing at the moment. She's in the and he just points to a small, little, wooden partition and you can hear some splashing and a little bit of like humming. If you want to talk to her, you can. Yeah.
I will put the tray down on the table and kind of move to sit next to the partition but not go behind it. I'm sorry, what was her name?
Tabitha.
Tabitha?
Yeah?
My name is Nienna. Can I talk to you for a moment?
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty name.
Thank you. I think yours is pretty too. Tabitha, have you ever found that you're able to do things your friends can't?
Like what?
Well, I'm not sure. I once met a little boy who could talk to animals. And the animals would listen and talk back sometimes.
Like an elder speech?
Quite. More like talking to the animals in their language.
So he could talk to puppies?
But he could talk like a puppy does. By barking and growling, and the puppy would understand him and he could understand it.
Oh.
And I knew a little girl who could move things by thinking about it without touching them. Have you ever been able to do anything special that your friends can't?
Well, I can't do that, but I did hear once about a story about how pretty and how popular pearls are. And so I wanted to see if maybe I could find one, so that way Papa wouldn't have to go and work so much. So I dove into the water, and I went deep, very deep in the water. Didn't find any pearls, though, but when I came back up, people thought I might have drowned. But the water was nice. I didn't have any trouble going down that deep. Didn't have any trouble holding my breath either. And the fish just seemed to swim all around me. Didn't seem to bother me none. Even the big ones with sharp teeth was there, but he just seemed to almost, I don't know, he was friendly. Let me hold on to him while he went further down.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, you're very brave.
I know.
I'm gonna kind of look over at her father.
You and Siegryn look at the father, and he's just like looking like, what the hell? Like, because he just has a look of he is very obviously never heard this story before.
Tabitha, when did this happen?
Was about 3 years ago. It was a little before Mom went on her trip.
Really? My name is Siegryn, by the way. Tabitha, how many times have you done this since then?
A few. Sometimes there are things that get dropped into the water, and I go after them. Take them back to who they belong to, and people give me bits of money or food to take home.
You're very helpful.
Mom always said that the world needs more people willing to help.
Your mother is a smart woman.
Yeah. I really hope she comes back someday.
Yes, I hope she does too.
Miss Nienna,
Yes?
do you have any kids?
No, dear, I don't.
That's a shame. I think you'd be a really good mom.
Thank you, dear.
Same for you, Miss Siegryn. Nice people who make for good parents, I think.
Oh, I don't know about me, but I appreciate the thought all the same.
Well, I'll leave you to your bath. There is breakfast out here when you're done.
Okay. And then you hear a splash into the bath, and there is no more humming.
Siegryn will turn to the dad. Would you like me to leave Brynnhilder here to guard the door?
Just sure. Yeah.
He'll be fine. He won't bite. Not you or your girl, at least. She'll smile and nod. Brynnhilder, guard. She'll point towards the door.
And he is going to move to the door and will sit down like a proper,
Regal guard hound.
Good boy. See about bringing you up some breakfast. In fact, she'll actually feed him one of the sausages that she pocketed from earlier.
He is very quick to immediately gobble it right down.
There you go.
While all of that is happening, Nienna would have gotten curious because Tabitha went quiet. She's just going to kind of peek around the edge of the partition to see if Tabitha is underwater.
You see that Tabitha is in fact underwater and seeming to be very comfortable underwater.
I'm basically going to keep time for a little bit and see if she's definitely under there far longer than she should be able to be. And once I assume the answer is yes. And once I have it, I'll kind of nod a little bit and withdraw.
Yeah, after about 4 minutes and her not coming back up, yeah, she's under there way longer than should be normal for anyone of her size for what her lung capacity should be.
I will go over to her father. Regardless of how all this turns out, when it's safe for you to go home, in a few years, bring her by the castle. I'd like to examine her. She might have greater gifts than even she realizes.
What do you mean, examine? What's that mean?
To see if she might have the sort of abilities that would give her a very, very comfortable life.
Oh, in that case, yeah, sure. Sorry, just...
I know.
Not every day that someone comes to your door and says, your daughter's in danger. Grab your shit and leave.
Out of curiosity, which one of them came to your door?
That was the pointy-eared fellow.
I see. Nienna will just sort of pinch the bridge of her nose. I apologize that he was so abrupt with you. I assure you he meant only to help.
I know. I'm sure. It's just still a lot.
I'll nod a little bit and kind of squeeze his arm. We'll do everything we can.
Thank you.
Where do you work?
Down at the docks. Just for the gentleman who owns the docks, who runs all the warehouses and such.
I will personally send him word that you are helping me with a special project and will return once you are finished. That way you don't risk losing your job for being here.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Of course.
And he's just like looking over, just like, Tabby? And he just looks at you. Is she? Okay?
She's fine. She's fine.
Oh, is she? She kind of like does like a little swooping hand motion. Under the water?
Yes.
Oh, how long has she been like that?
Well, last I checked, about 4 minutes. She is special.
No doubt about that.
Well, I knew that before, but I guess I just didn't know how.
We'll leave you to your morning. Do you need anything else?
No, I'm fine. If I need anything, I'll call for what was it? Lisa was her name?
Yes, I believe so.
I'll call for her. Other than that, I'm okay. Thank you, though.
Of course.
Lady Nienna.
Nienna will nod and kind of gesture for Siegryn towards the door, like, let's go. Let's leave this poor man alone.
As they step out and through the threshold, Render guarding the door as they shut it, Siegryn kind of like purses her brows a little bit. Nienna?
Yes.
Don't you find it kind of strange that out of all of the gifts that the child could have ended up with, they just so happen to have one that gives them the affinity for water when they live by the piers?
The bits of magic that pulse through children like that tend to adapt themselves to the life the child leads. If the child spends a lot of time around animals, they'll likely be gifted with animals. If they spend time training with someone like Irileth, they likely will be physically adept. She spends time near the water and loves it.
I see. Well, rather informative.
I I find of most destructive magics, fire suits me best when I know others who feel far more pain than usual when channeling it.
She'll kind of turn and give her a little wry look. I don't suppose you bathe yourselves in hot coals every day, do you?
No, of course not. I can wield fire, but I'm still be burned by it.
Well, that's... Well, I wouldn't say it's good to know, but it's interesting. Right, well, I suppose we should tell the others then that we do in fact have our target.
Indeed. And figure out to stop them from going any further, because we can't keep them here forever. And moving them to the palace won't make them any safer.
Definitely not.
Nienna will, head back down to the others.
Yep.
All right, and everyone is once again reunited.
He's the one. Your sources were more than adequate. Siegryn, thank you.
Of course. More than happy to help in a dire situation like this. I'm just glad that they paid off, quite literally in this case.
Does create a strategic situation. We got something they want.
We do.
Honestly, though, now I'm a little afraid of how long it'll take to find out that they're right back where one of the original targets was.
Well, I suggest we not give them time enough to figure it out. You said we have the locations.
Mm-hmm. She'll pull out the map and lay it on the table. These are where we were able to pinpoint.
All right. Well, if that's where the children are being kept, then that's where we go.
Are they being kept, or are they being held there and then moved?
From what I've been told, the children are being kept here for now, and then they're going to be moved right up here for their actual training.
Do we know what the timeline on that is?
No.
Probably when they add Tabby up there to the list. Get all of them and move them all at once.
Well, it sounds like we bought ourselves some time at least.
Curious. How hard did you have to lean on the witches to find this out?
They were... Well, he was very forthcoming.
Doesn't concern you that this could all be a trap?
No.
Witchers only care about one thing, and that is the money that they make.
I know my mentor. He'd have paid them for their silence unless he didn't want them to be silent.
Well, it was more of just a damn good job and not wanting to... I mean, they were hired to track down the doppelgangers. 500 every one they caught for each witcher. And then, for everything they're doing now, it's 500 a week for each witcher. 10 children have gone missing over the past while. they've made a decent amount of coin to a ridiculous degree and don't want to ruin it for themselves. It's not even buying silence. It's just so good.
No, I'm saying he'd have given them more money explicitly to keep their mouths shut.
I don't think that
unless
was even
he
in the
was fine with
contract.
them telling. That's my point. He'd have put it in the contract.
I
don't
gotta
think-
side with Nienna on this one.
I don't think
Every job I've ever taken, if I had just gone to the man I was supposed to be killing, or all of his soldiers, and said, hey, this guy hired me to kill that guy, I'd have been out of a job permanently.
I gave it up too easily. Something feels wrong.
Again,
I think
differences, but
the only thing I was going to point out is that it's less about them just being. He's not paying them to do that because he's so comfortable in what he has already.
No, that does bring the concern up of why he bound the Dopplers rather than the Witchers. Or just all of them in general under his employment.
Witchers already have a rep for taking kids. It's not like it would have been that surprising.
He wasn't comfortable with it though.
That makes Brynnhilder glare.
I don't believe it, but people talk, especially out in the boonies.
And also, Yara gave up the information with equal amounts of ease, and there was no reason for either of them to expect that we would capture them or track them down in any way.
I don't
I don't like it either. I don't like it either.
I feel the same way, but it seems as it is for right now. It is the biggest lead that we have at the moment.
Yara I get, though. He strikes me as just a chatty bitch.
Hmm.
But two,
There's also the fact of the matter of if two Witchers go at it, whoever wields the better magic is going to win.
yeah.
It could also just be he valued his life a little bit too much. He had a girlfriend.
Yeah, that'll get you sometimes.
I don't know. There's something we're missing, and I don't know what it is.
What we're missing is where the third Witcher is.
That's not what I meant. There's
Oh,
a
no.
piece of the plan that we're missing, and
Yeah.
not knowing it's going to get someone killed.
That could be where the third Witcher is.
So the troll cave with the other kids. It feels like our next attack move, right?
Yes.
We
I would
either
be careful.
yeah, go ahead.
There are drowners.
All right. Drowners, a troll, possibly another Witcher. And we're trying to save people, so that makes it harder too. Means ultimately all they have to do is, start making threats. We gotta back off. Or they just pull all the kids out of there. Best case, we
If they
take them by
haven't
surprise.
already.
If they haven't already. I don't know if they saw me take Tabitha. I think they did, but I can't be sure. If they did, they're either on their way here to get her, or they've given up. We hit him at the cave, maybe it puts them on the back foot. They leave Tabitha alone, try to cut their losses. Or we all leave the Bargus, and then somebody walks in here, takes her just like they took the last one. Bit of a conundrum.
And honestly, given what we're dealing with, I'm not sure even leaving Render behind with her will do much to help them if somebody manages to figure out two and two and put them together.
Mm.
But suppose it's better than nothing.
PM.
Yes.
I have known Isildur most of my life. I understand, at least to some degree, how his mind works.
Yes.
Is there some sort of check I can make to see if I can, like, find the hole, or at least have some idea of what area we're missing in this whole plan? Because it feels too easy.
Yes.
My point is, Nienna's much smarter than I am as a player, so...
Give me a roll of empathy and human perception. Well, elven perception, but it suits my purpose here.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. Any mods?
+5 because you're so intimately knowledgeable of this individual.
Holy cow, okay. That would be a 27.
With a 27, you know that Isildur is someone who is very careful, someone who's very cautious, but he's also someone who puts a lot of faith and a lot of weight on prophecy. And while he may be trying to do something that he believes is going along with prophecy, he is also someone who is very sure of himself and of prophecies coming to pass, regardless of outside forces. He doesn't think that things will ever break a prophecy. They might alter it or change how it's going to get to its end result, but the prophecy itself will stand.
Destiny is undeniable.
Yeah.
So does it strike me as odd that he didn't make sure that there was a clause in the Witcher's contracts that they had to be quiet about what they were doing?
A little, but then it also could.
Is that something I would have done? I would have paid them extra to keep them quiet.
Yeah. Though again, if he's just thinking that this destiny is going to happen, whether the Witchers talk or not, or someone works against him or not, then he could just be certain that it's just going to happen no matter what people do to fight against it.
Okay.
Brynhilder,
Mm-hmm.
we haven't really done the bouncer job in a minute. You mind taking a lap around, make sure everything's shipshape, check security, make sure nobody's going to break in the old-fashioned way?
Yeah.
All right.
Chill.
And we're going to take a little walk.
I would like Irileth and Brynhilder to please give me awareness tests. Those are double 22s. Excellent.
Mhm.
You are both very certain that this place is fairly secure, even without having the team of bouncers here. But with you both here and with Irileth's friends that he was able to call in to sort of act as secondary bouncers for him, this place is fairly secure. It's not exactly going to be like if someone tries to storm this place like it were a castle with a whole bunch of with like a small armed guard or so on and so forth, they'd have trouble. But this place is fairly secure for a private establishment.
Cool. So, Brynhilder,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to say it in front of everybody because what I do can be pretty fucked up. But they want this kid. And if they come after her, we know where they're going to be.
Yeah.
Bait's a dirty word. But if this Isogir guy is going to show up in person to retrieve these kids, that's a hell of a shot, you know?
Could be our only means of getting the jump ahead. Easy takeout. Typically, I am against hurting people.
Yeah.
But kidnappers, in my eyes, aren't people.
Weird. Normally I wouldn't be working with other people. I just, I'd use the bait. I'd probably have some backup to keep an eye out for them. Take down the target, clean up, go home. But
This is a Witcher we're talking about. If you try to fight him on your own, that's asking to be killed.
oh no, it's the sage I'm worried about.
Maybe.
'Cause if he comes in to grab the kids, that's what I'm talking about. The other thing I'm talking about is I kind of don't want to use this idea. Like, I talk to you because I know you're tactical, but there's people in, like, I don't talk about my work with a lot of people. They get this look on their face. I don't like it. Do you think this is a good plan? Or do you think they're going to look differently at me?
I believe it is how you go about it. Not everybody is going to be okay with jumping on a person, no matter what it is that they've done, either out of moral obligation or out of fear. I think our circumstances are a little bit special right now.
Yeah. You get that I'm talking about the kid as bait part, right?
I am fully aware.
Okay.
I believe Nienna will have a problem with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was afraid of that.
This is a child with special gifts.
Yeah.
And as someone who is special like herself, I don't think she would see it as entirely humane.
Right. Let's keep bait as an under the cloak plan to be pulled out as a last resort then. And yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. That needed to hear that.
I know. I know it makes logically the most sense, but remember what I said, that some people have a moral code. So.
Yeah. That bothers me too. Not that they haven't, but that the vast majority of people I've known with hard moral codes usually end up dying by them. And I like you guys.
Yeah. Irileth, we've worked together for a while now. So I believe that I can be honest with you. I don't
Okay.
think this group is quite fit to take on a sage, especially one where we aren't aware of how powerful they are. And I know for sure that if this is a cat, anybody who's not prepared to fight needs to sit out.
Yeah.
Because you think I hit hard, they hit fast. And sometimes fast can screw you over more than hard.
Sorry. Yeah, no, you're right.
I know what I said, and I know why I said it.
As a
And
guy,
then-
I mean, the ability to put a blade in somebody and back in your cloak before people notice, be gone before they hit the ground, yeah. Sometimes fast is the way.
I feel
Hopefully we'll be
almost...
faster.
Hopefully. Well, now I feel almost dirty having this conversation with you. I'm gonna go back to the others.
See, that's the start of that look. I follow her in.
All right. And everyone was once again back at the same table in the body park, yes.
So we hitting this cave or what?
The only option we really have at the moment.
We got one Witcher in lockup, the other one leaving town, and the third one maybe outside of town. I mean, yeah, we lock him up and all we've got to deal with is the waves his hand in front of his face.
What?
The face
Dopplers.
changers. Yeah, Dopplers, that one.
Yes, well. Let's hope we don't have to deal with them because there's only one of us here who has any idea when one of them's in the room. She'll look over at Brynnhilder, and we can't all be together at all times.
Speaking of, do you all want me to leave Render here behind so that they can at least guard to some limited degree while we're out?
I kind of feel like we'll need him.
And at that, Siegryn will look to Brynhilder. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't... I don't have an opinion one way or another, but it might be good have the extra. Is your dog able to fight at all? Like, can he get mean?
She kind of cracks a bit of a wry grin. Have you seen Render lately? They're a massive fucking wolf. They can get absolutely fucking vicious. Best bodyguard I've ever met.
I mean, it might be good for you to hold on to him then, in case we get split up.
Right. Okay. I'll go fetch him then. And Siegryn will go ahead and head upstairs to go retrieve him.
Alrighty.
I'll fill in Mama K. Not on all the information, but the girl is important. More shapeshifters might come after her. We're gonna go hit one of their hideouts. Do you need anything before I go?
No, everything should be fine. Just make sure that you make sure that your friends are here, because I'd rather have them here than no one at all. Just barely, though. And she holds up a hand, just like joins, like just a little bit.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh, and don't die. I have a hell of a time replacing you.
Yeah. Yes, you would.
Oh, fuck off.
Shit-eating grin.
Before we leave, I'd like to pop back up and talk to Tabitha one more time.
Alrighty.
Relatively quick discussion, but I'll kind of go in and make sure that the door is shut. I'm assuming she's finally out of the bath.
Yes. Doesn't look like she's been out of the bath for long, but she is out of the bath.
I'll go and sit down so that I'm like, or sit or kneel or whatever I have to do to be like on eye line with her. Tabitha.
Yes, Miss Nienna.
I need to tell you something very, very important, and I want you to remember it, all right?
Okay. And she just turns, like her entire body turns to focus on you, and she's just smiling.
If anything bad should happen, and you get separated from your daddy, I want you to go to the water. Get as deep into it as you can and go to the castle. Do you know where the castle is?
Yeah, it's the biggest place, right?
Yes. There's water leading right to it. Follow the water until you get there and tell them that I sent you. They'll keep you safe, all right?
Okay.
And I'll just sort of take a minute and kind of like fix her hair with my fingers and then kind of nod. And get up and go. Nod at her father on my way out.
And Siegryn will begin pulling Render away. Come on, boy. And as she does, she's going to lean over and whisper to the father, just as a precaution, barricade the door once we leave.
He gives a very stern and understanding nod.
Right, thank you. And she is going to head down with her big pooch.
Tabitha gets up on the bed and just waves goodbye to you. Goodbye, Lady Nienna. Goodbye, Lady Siegryn. Goodbye, Render.
Goodbye.
Nienna will wave.
I hope you manage to have kids someday, Lady Nienna. I'd really like to play with them sometime.
I'd like that too, dear. And as soon as we're like out of earshot, I'm going to look at Siegryn. It's going to break her heart when she realizes that most sorceresses can't have children.
Ooh, yeah, better not tell her that one.
Not to mention I'm getting too old anyway. All right, let's go.
Rightio.
All right. Everyone is once again down at the body of Argus, getting everything taken care of, everything set up. And you are able to begin getting ready to head out of the city. Nienna and Brynhilder. Brynhilder has a horse all to herself. Does Nienna have transportation, or is she just going to work to get horses and and possibly a cart from Lord Einar?
I make so much money that I could have easily had a horse. When we first did character creation, I was told I probably shouldn't bother buying one, but I have a lot of money, so I'm happy to just mark it off of my sheet now and say that she's had one for a while.
By all means.
Okay, we'll do that then. Horses are what, 500? With
believe
like
about that.
100 for a saddle. So puts me at 300. Being a mage in noble employ pays.
Sure does.
If I need to get a cart or whatever from them, I'm absolutely certain I could get something from the stables.
Let's see. Cart is about 200. Lord Einar could very easily give you a cart or carriage. Depending on how official you want to look.
I think a cart would probably be better.
Yeah.
That way, if it gets screwed up, it's not the amount of money that a carriage costs.
It's true.
Yeah. Cart, and I'm assuming he's also going to allow us to take a horse.
He allows you to take a. He actually allows you to take 2 horses, one for the cart and one for whoever else wants to ride on a horse separate from just being in the back of the cart.
I'm assuming that would probably be Irileth.
Oh, I was actually saying myself because I'm about a 1.5 feet taller than Irileth, and I probably wouldn't be comfortable in a cart.
Okay.
Okay.
I could drive the cart, or actually, I think Sig would be better at that. But I can shoot from a cart better than I can from horseback.
Okay.
Off we go.
And off you go. You head to the eastern gate, and your various horses and cart are ready. As you all mount up and look back, you can see that the city is once again bustling with life. But it seems like it's a little bit dimmer. A little bit less lively, despite all of the activity. And as you head on along, I would like everyone to please roll me 1d10 plus your luck.
Oh dear.
And just as a reminder, everyone who rolled a 10 gets to roll a d10 again and add it to your total.
Jesus. 3 people rolled 10s?
That's 15 on the dice, plus my luck of 8 for 23.
22. For
22.
Yep.
16.
And then Grizz got 16.
15.
15 from Nienna. What about Siegryn?
Sorry, audio cut out there for just a moment. What are we rolling?
Luck, please.
Luck, you got it. Oh.
Ooh.
Roll another.
Please roll another
Yeah.
d10.
I don't want to.
How many luck
Unfortunate.
points do you have?
Unfortunately, as this is a roll specifically for luck, you cannot re-roll it.
How many luck
Okay.
points do you have, though?
Oh, I have 10.
Okay, so that is a total
A 9?
of a 9. So, it's okay. The minimum I wanted was an 8.
Oh,
I was actually kind of banking more on Fenix getting that.
That's really good. Double what you expected. Okay, I'm sorry.
That would have been really unfortunate.
Oh, it would have been terrible, yeah.
So, the first leg of the journey, the actual like cave itself, on horseback, you could probably make it there in about a day. But of course, want to make sure that you don't get there. You're all exhausted from riding all goddamn day. So then you're trying to go in to what could be a dangerous situation, tired. But you know that there is about 75% of the way there is a traveling inn. That would be basically perfect for you to rest at. It doesn't really have much of a name. The place is just sort of a landmark for the road, and given the fact that that two of you are in Lord Einar's employ and have marks to show that you're in Lord Einar's employ, you're able to, that you'll be able to go there and basically stay for free.
Best price.
Indeed.
As it gets later into the evening and the sun begins to set on the horizon, you see the inn come into view. It is a somewhat larger building, about 3 stories. But of course, it does look like it has very much been beaten down by the fact it's out here on the road, a good distance away from the city. And you can see that there are several people here who look like they are also traveling. You see all kinds of merchants, carts, and various caravans and such. You see a few merchants who are standing around and arguing about whose cart should be able to be moved first, who's going to be setting up business, and where when they actually finally get to Machina. But with them being busy arguing as opposed to actually paying the stable boy, a somewhat well-built young man of about 17, makes his way to you, and his dark green eyes look up to you and say, Lady
Nienna.
Lady Nienna, I assume that you'll be wanting to have your horses and cart taken care of. You all
Indeed.
get priority, of course, over those two. And he just looks back at the two who are still arguing and like flashing various writs and writs of permission to sell and so on and so forth.
I will smile and nod as I dismount. Indeed, and we pay better, and I will slip him 10 florins.
Oh, undeniably so.
We're going to be up in the morning. Need to move as close to dawn as possible, so if you could have them ready, I would appreciate that.
I get up at dawn anyway. I'll make sure that they're ready for you.
Thank you.
Of course. And he quickly and deftly grabs the reins for the various horses and leads them along, and lets you all go ahead and enter the inn, which is not very rowdy, not loud. It's very small, cozy. It's got a really warm fire going, and you can smell stew being cooked. From the smell, it seems like it's heavily spiced with herbs and all kinds of spices from all around the continent. And you see a tavern girl who looks to be in her mid-20s and smattering of freckles across her face, long red hair. Welcome. Can I help you? Can I get you a table, a bowl of stew, some ale, mead? We actually do have a couple bottles of wine, though nothing like what you're going to find in the city.
All of the above, and 2 rooms? 3?
3, I think.
Yeah.
All right then. Feel free to take a seat wherever you like. There are several long tables that would have enough room for all of you. And I'll go ahead and get your food taken care of, and my dad will go ahead and take care of your rooms.
Thank
Father owns the place.
Sure has. Been in the family for 40 years now.
I didn't know we were in the presence of the princess of the inn. Thank you very much.
Give me an empathy and charisma roll.
Yes.
Never stops.
Not my best. 14.
She smiles and gives you a wink, but is quick to move away. You're pretty sure you've seen that sort of like smile as more of the "give me tips, please."
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Go to the
Just eat
tables.
and drink.
The food is brought along quick. A decent hearty bowl of soup for each of you. Freshly baked bread and drinks of all kinds. Ale and a bottle of wine for those who want to partake in something a little different, a little stronger, perhaps.
Wine, please.
Same.
She gets out a few small wooden cups, nothing fancy, and pours the wine. The wine seems to be of a more recent year, and even just taking a sip of it, it is decent. It seems closer to a child's fruit juice that just happens to have alcohol in it. It's very sweet.
Well, that's fine.
So, do we want to discuss tomorrow, or do we want to hit the road and then make a plan?
How to make a plan when we don't know exactly what we're walking into.
Cheers. I'll drink to that.
I think we all will.
Brynhilder,
Mm-hmm.
if you could, please roll Witcher training for me.
Okay.
All right.
19.
With a 19, you know that that if what you've been told is correct, drowners in the lake by this cave, they tend to be numerous. They tend to be very quick. They tend to be very aggressive, but they're not exactly incredibly dangerous. They have claws and a really nasty bite, but they're more like swarming beasts. It's the fact that they tend to have numbers versus them being exceptionally tough or strong. Like even like a decent contingent of normal soldiers or bodyguards could probably take care of a number of drowners. It's just that they just have to make sure that they don't get caught unaware. Rock trolls, on the other hand, if Biggin is in fact a rock troll, they are incredibly tough because their body is, by and large, actually made of stone. Very difficult to try to get through. Not impossible, just takes a while. Very strong, not very smart, incredibly stupid, barely able to think on their own. They are able to speak, though it's usually very broken, very prone to repeating words. But not exactly cruel or mean or evil. They're usually able to be talked down from whatever it is that they are doing that would often have witchers go after them. Or they could just be told to move or to find someplace else to do whatever they're doing. They're generally the more friendly monsters. It's just that they're also very intimidating because they can be territorial.
Well, in regards to the possible monsters that we might be dealing with. Good news is that rock trolls, though very strong and could rip through somebody's skull like it's nobody does. They don't even have to blink an eye, really. They are very stupid, like extremely stupid. Very easy to get them to do what you want if you've either got a silver tongue or a really good distraction. Drowners are aggressive, though not dangerous, but if there are a lot of them, well, there's power in numbers. So, no matter what we deal with, as long as we don't allow ourselves to get ambushed or thrown off, yeah. Or if we're dealing with an extremely territorial troll, lure him into a magic trap. It'll be easy. It's a little hard to move in a magic trap.
Stay alert for the drowners. Talk to the troll. I've known some fellas who were big and dumb before, and they were dangerous.
The big and dumb ones tend to be. They go purely off of natural instinct.
All right.
But stone trolls tend to be friendlier if they don't perceive you as a threat. You could easily ask him to step over to the side, and if he doesn't think of you as a threat, he actually might.
Good. Do you want to clear out the drowners first?
Yes.
Make sure we don't get ambushed.
Yep. Believe it or not, they might end up being our bigger problem.
You said that they can't like communicate, right? They don't talk.
Drowners do not talk, no.
No.
All right. So if they were like, they wouldn't be standing guard on the place, at least not on purpose.
Nope.
Still, might be good to take them out as far from the cave as we can. Make sure the noise doesn't get back to the troll and whoever else is in there.
Might be good to bait them over.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Unless someone else wants to be bait. Glances around.
I could do it.
If you can allow me to get if one of you provides that distraction, I can get the upper hand on them.
Not gonna be a distraction.
It should probably be somebody smaller than them.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm volunteering. It could be me or Nienna or you.
The reason
I should not.
I don't know. Smaller was pretty pointed.
okay. The reason
Smaller than that.
The reason I'm volunteering. It's in a swamp. Right? Deep water. You need someone a little bit taller. It's not gonna get stuck or get too deep in down there. You gotta be able to wade through and run quickly. Strong enough and I'm fast enough to do it. Also, he like opens his hands. I don't have much for weaponry, so it's me just running, and I can do that.
You don't want me busy with anything physical if you want to have a line of defense against magic. No offense, and she'll kind of look over at Brynhilder, but there's no witcher magic out there that I can't handle.
Another thing Brynhilder would know from her witcher knowledge, her witcher training, is that drowners can also be easily distracted with shiny objects as long as they don't also see something they could conceive as a meal. And they are also quite vulnerable to fire.
Got it. So drowners have ADHD, is what you're telling me.
And pyrophobia.
And pyrophobia. Well, they're afraid of fire and they like shiny things. They're like a small child.
So we have a silversmith and someone who likes throwing fire. Perfect.
All right. Clear the drowners. Go into the cave. Probably Brynhilder first, if the troll's used to seeing witchers and talking to them. Maybe your necklace gives you a bit of an edge.
Possibly.
Then we convince him to hand over the kids, escort him back to the cart, and head back to town.
I could probably get him to listen to me. Big and dumb. Have you
Sounds
met
good.
some of the guards at the keep?
No, I avoid the keep. But I get your point. Questions, comments, concerns?
I'll just stick with fighting the drowners then.
All right. Get some sleep.
After your meal and drinks, you all head off to your rooms.
I don't think Brynhilder's actually going to go to a room. I think she's going to stay outside and meditate for the night. To keep an eye to see if there are any other witchers or anything that kind of pass by this area as the night continues. I have the meditation skill.
Perfection. Go ahead and is that something that you roll?
It says that I can enter a meditative trance, which grants all of the benefits of sleeping, but allows me to remain vigilant. While meditating, I'm considered awake for the purpose of noticing anything within double their meditation value in meters. So I get all the benefits of sleeping, but I can remain awake and aware. And I get 10 meters of that awareness.
Absolutely phenomenal. Please give me an awareness check. Oh. Would you like to spend 2 luck points to reroll that?
Yes, please.
By all means.
There we go. 18.
Okay. You, while everyone else is going to bed and settling in for the evening, you, with permission from the proprietor, find a quiet spot and settle in. Or are you doing this in a room?
I'm doing it outside the building.
Okay, so you find a quiet spot outside the building and settle down and close your eyes and open your senses. Open your sense of smell, your sense of hearing, the feeling the cool night air on your skin. And you feel another presence. You smell that same intense sulfuric scent from witcher oil. And it is nearby. It is to your immediate right.
I kind of open my eyes, maintaining my meditative breathing, and I just kind of look to my immediate right and keep an eye peeled.
You can tell that someone is there. And out steps a individual, lithe, not very bulky in terms of their musculature. They have their hood up and a scarf pulled up over their nose. And you can see their cat eyes as they twirl a knife across their fingers from one knuckle to the next. And that knife is where you can tell the scent is coming from. It is coming from a potion that you know, an oil that you know to be called the Hanged Man's Venom.
Okay. I am going to stand up. And we're making eye contact, aren't we?
Yep. As soon as you stand up, they stop. And they catch the knife and put it into the palm of their hand. And then they just, watch you for a moment. You're gonna be in my way.
Depends if you're going to be in mine.
I figured that this would happen one day. Witchers killing witchers.
Brynnhilder is going to just reach back as if she were going in for her sword. And she's doing that with her quote unquote bad hand.
Okay. They raise up their other hand. You want a minute to prepare. Figure at the very least that we owe each other's getting each other at our best. Or do you just want to do this now?
And then she'll just draw out her sword. And then the moment he says, or do you just want to do this, she's going to whip a fire at him.
All right, give me a roll of spellcasting for Igni.
Okay. $17.
You cast the Igni and it flows outward. And his eyes, their eyes widen for a second, and then you can see them just corkscrew over the flame, still getting caught by some of it, but not the worst of it. Please go ahead and roll me. How much stamina are you going to be spending into casting this spell? Because the amount of stamina you spend increases the amount of damage you would deal.
I will be spending 3 stamina for it.
Go ahead and roll me 3d6.
$14.
Okay. You can see that this individual avoids a decent bit of the fire, though it still does catch them. Just not as bad as you were hoping.
Mm-hmm.
And they rush forward low, almost impossibly low, and rise up to just try to swipe at your throat with their blade.
I'm gonna spend another 2 stamina to shield that.
Okay, go ahead and I'm going to go. Go ahead and give me a roll of spellcasting again to make sure that it goes up in time.
Yep.
It goes up in time. Like just as the blade is coming within a few inches of your neck, the Quinn deflects the blade off. They manage to keep hold of it, but then they just turn it around again and stab once more at you. And Quinn is beginning to falter. They are going at you as viciously as possible, and you can see that their other hand comes off with another curved, vicious-looking blade to try to bring it up and down at you again. Would you like to try to dodge, or perhaps block, or parry? Parrying is harder to do, but if you succeed, you'll knock their blade away and give yourself an opening to strike back.
Yes, I think I am going to attempt to parry.
Please give me a roll of your please go ahead and click parry on your swordsmanship.
Okay. $23.
You bring your blade down just as their hand comes sweeping up in an arc, and you push the blade down just right at the pommel to send their blade into the dirt, and you have an opening to strike.
Yes.
They will be at a severe penalty for their dodge to try to get out of the way from your attacks this turn.
Perfect. This time I think I'm going to go in for a fast strike.
Okay, fast strike means that you'll be able to go ahead and click that button, and I forget if it rolls twice, but fast strikes means you'll get 2 strikes at it.
Okay. A 31 and a 21.
Ooh, let's see how they do getting out of the way. So, the second strike does barely catch them as they were working to try to roll with the force of the first strike, because the force of the first strike is immense. You dig your iron sword deep into their flesh with this first strike. One moment while I check the rules for criticals. With the amount that you beat their roll by, you have rolled a complex critical, which means that the first strike deals an additional 5 points of damage. And I'll be rolling to see just how badly this individual is injured from it. So by all means, please roll the damage of your iron sword.
For both attacks or just the one?
You'll be rolling the damage for both. The first one just deals an additional 5 points.
23 for that first one. And then 20 for the second.
Okay. The first strike, you can hear something wet, something internal, almost popping. Something that should not pop, giving that intensely loud, wet squelch. And you can hear them grunting in pain and trying to get out of the way of the second attack, only to be sent basically scrambling and scampering away as the second strike digs into their flesh. Not as deep, but still an immense wound. They're looking at you, and you can see that their wounds are bleeding rather heavily, profusely even. And they just try to hold their blades, but one falls and they have their hands fully in the mud, and they are panting. And they just look up to you. I guess that's that. He said you were good.
Who?
Good friend of yours. Has a similar medallion. He's gonna be happy seeing where you come. And they just fall into the mud, and you can see that the blood is pooling out around them as they give off their last ragged breath and die. What is Brynnhilder's next move?
She's gonna ransack the corpse and take everything this guy has.
The very first thing that you find are the two twin Jimbaya knives. Very short, deadly, able to slip through armor very easily, cut through it like butter almost. You find a Witcher medallion, cat.
Mm-hmm.
You find a potion that you recognize to be a potion of cat, which helps one see in the dark.
Yep.
You also see a potion of white honey, meant to help cleanse the body.
Okay.
And finally, a potion of Patri's Filter, which helps with spell casting. And I will go ahead and put those into the chat for you.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
She's just gonna wipe off the blood off of her sword after she's managed to get everything that she can.
The last thing that you see as you are ransacking is you see the face of the individual. They are somewhat young looking, though of course Witchers age slower, so that doesn't say much. A more childish face, but one that was scarred and with the cat eyes constantly looking out. They look almost like they are still smiling, like the cat that ate the canary.
Gonna like rest her fingers on the hoods of their eyes and kind of like lower them so that way they're fully closed. And he's actually going to now, are there any like big would we happen to be anywhere around like a big field?
Yes, behind the inn is a large grassy field. Some of the grass is to the point where it's almost like up to one's hips, but there are like paths cut out for anyone who wants to like go and rest and enjoy nature a little bit, along with a large gnarled tree.
Okay. I'm gonna take them out to a field, preferably where the grass is a little bit lower, and Brynnhilder is just gonna get on, lay the body down and get on one knee and just kind of examine the body once more, before standing and just lighting it on fire.
Utilizing Igni?
Yeah.
Well, easily done. Don't even need to roll. Just takes a small little snap of the fingers with the correct turn to make it so that it forms the smaller form of the sign. And they are given the cremation, as Witchers tend to want to do for one another when they find each other dead. And that is where we are going to end for this evening.